Hello, Hillbilly fans. This is Junior Hillbilly here. I'm up at college. I had an issue with the car, something I think I could fix, so we're going to see if I can conquer it without having to call in the big guns, Hillbilly himself, the Huntington Hillbilly. We're going to see if we can get this done. So the automotive adventure today, we'll be looking at my headlight. I had an issue in the parking garage with a concrete pillar. Me and it didn't agree. It kind of won. So got a little damage right here, scraped up the car a little bit. Biggest thing is that it pulled out the front headlight, which is not very good to have this thing not in your car. So today we're gonna look at, I have the cords right here, they're still attached. I think that they're still gonna work. The headlight is still in pretty good condition if we look right here. I mean, it's still got the attachments, maybe a little bit broken, but we're gonna see if we can put it back together and see if we can get the light to work. So in authentic Hillbilly fashion, I have my trusty roll of duct tape that I'm going to use, and then if I need it, and then I also have this hockey tape, so to supplement it, and some scissors. We are not the only one out here that's kind of hillbillying it. This car right here is up on jack stands. It's been on that way for about 5 days now, so I'm not the only one up here that's trying to fix their car in a parking garage or in the parking lot. First thing I did is I looked back here and I tried to figure out where these cords go. So I have 4 cords right here. Not quite sure where they go. This one looks like it goes right onto there. I think this one connects right here, like so. This one, it connects down into there. And then this one is right there. So after a little bit of testing I did previously off camera, this one right here, this big colored one, that is the blinker. This is the main headlight. I'm not quite sure what this one does, for being honest. I'm not sure. The little fastener thing is a little bit broken, so I'm not sure how well that one's going to go back in. And then this one is for the little yellow light in the corner. I'm not sure what that one's called, but that's what that one's for. Based on the diagram on the other light and then trying it out. So I'm going to see how well they go back in, and then we're going to fire up the car and see if I can get any of the lights to work. All right, here we are. The car is on now. So we see on this headlight, the main light is on. We have the blinker working, or driving light, but that's going to be fine. That one's on too. So we're just going to try to see if we can get all 3 lights to get back on and working without too much, just with duct tape and reattachment. So yeah, let's try it. All right, so the first one, I think the easiest one that I identified, is going to be this one right here, the blinker, because you can pull the blinker light out like so, and get it like that. And I think that overall, this attachment, I can only use one hand because I'm filming, but I think this attachment right here is still pretty good. It might not latch fully, but yeah, look at that right there. So the blinker, that one's the easiest one. I don't think it'll fall out because it's going down the road. It's pretty secure. It'll stay on. So this one's pretty good. I don't think I'll need any tape. It looked like there was a seal right here, but I'm not sure where that went, so I don't know how necessary that was. So we're just gonna put that back in there, and you can see down there it's blinking right. So I know that the blinker works, which is good. So when I drive it tonight, I'll test out to make sure the blinker works, going over bumps and everything. So now on to the next tip. So this one I think would also be easy, because it looks like this right here, it attaches right into there, like so. It doesn't stay super well. It kind of stays on there. I think probably the part that keeps it in there broke. So it doesn't come out super easily, but I'm not sure how well it's going to work. So looking at the front, right there, that light looks to be on, and the blinker is working. So I got the bottom 2 lights back to working. Now this one's next. So let's try and troubleshoot this one. Okay, so for this one, it looks like this piece right here broke off from right here. So I'm not quite sure how that was supposed to go. I think that these 2 metal points are supposed to touch onto these wire things like that, and then be like that, so they hold them. And then that connects the light and makes it turns it on. But based on that, I'm not quite sure if that's how it goes. I'm also not sure what these are, so I'm just gonna see if if putting these in will do anything. I don't know if they're supposed, which way they're supposed to go. So we're just gonna put them in as best as I can. There you go. And try this one again. And nothing on the light. So I'm not quite sure. Maybe this broke. Maybe this comes out. It looks like I would need screwdrivers to get this out, which I might have back in my dorm, but I'm not. If this is broken, I don't really see a point in pulling it out, because if this connection isn't working, we'll just have to replace this whole part. Unless these are important and backwards, in which case switch them around, see if I can, if this will change anything. But I'm pretty happy I got 2 of the lights back to working. Obviously the drive test will still have to be confirmed on whether it actually stays in place. This light obviously was broken off. So we see right there, that's where it would have been held on right there. So that broke off. So I mean, I assume that bumps wouldn't really rattle it that much. When I put it back in the first time, it was pretty secure. So I think if I just put it on pretty well, it'll stay in. I don't think it. All right. Well, I'm not getting anything from this light, so maybe a little bit of extra research. Maybe I'll call the Huntington Hillbilly and see what he thinks about it. Maybe we'll have to replace the whole light. I'm not quite sure, but for a Hillbilly fix of 5 minutes trying to get it back together, I at least got the blinker working. That's important. So I can be confident that when I'm driving down the road, that my blinker works in the front. This, I think, outside of this part right here where it's broken, I think I can just wash. This is all like scratched up. I think I can wash that and make it look a little bit prettier. This part's a little banged up. It will still be scratched up and everything, but maybe I can take off some of that white. And the other part is right here. It broke the front grille. So I'm not quite sure what I'll do about that. Maybe go back home and super glue it, something, you know, Hillbilly-ish. This will go back on. I didn't even need to use tape on this one from what I can see. They just pop back in pretty easily. So yeah, so after a little bit of putting it back together, I put the light back in. It seemed pretty secure. I'm not sure if this duct tape will actually do anything, but you know, I had to put some duct tape on it just to make the job complete, make it seem like I actually did something. So I put 2 pieces of duct tape. Maybe it'll hold, maybe it won't, but it seems pretty secure, fastened in there. I'm not sure really how much it's going to shake going down the road, so I don't have any fear of it falling out. So voila, the light's back in. The main light doesn't work, which is not good, but we're going to try to figure that one out later. At least I got the blinker working, which is a win in its own. So you can do repairs. If you call that a repair, use some duct tape in your own parking lot if you have an issue. Came back out with a wet paper towel and just wiped down what I could. Still a lot of white, but especially this area's cleaned up. Try not to pull off as much paint as I could because it's a little flaky, but it is what it is. You know, the Huntington Hillbilly's been a bit of content drought recently, so I thought I'd give them some work, give them some content. You know, I had to create a little bit of an issue so that we could actually have some content on the channel. So hope you enjoyed. All right, after driving it for a little bit, it's dark out now. It seems that both the lights that I was able to fix have stayed. Blinker's been working consistently every time I drove it, so looks like my fix that I could do partially worked. Still have to figure out that main light, but not quite sure I can get it based on what's left. So at least I got something.